Hello traders, Gary Wagner here. Just about 10:15 in Honolulu, 4:15 in New York. It is Tuesday, 19th day of July, 2016, and this is the Daily Report for Gold and Silver. Interesting day in the precious metals markets, with gold trading slightly higher on the day. Silver, platinum, and palladium, although, are lower and under pressure. Let's take a look at gold. 1332.70, that's our current print, up about $3.50. The low 1325 on the day, and the high 1335. So it does look like we've got a summer trading range of only about $10 in terms of the high and the low. Spot silver, not that much different. 1332.20, up about $3.50 on the day. Highs and lows roughly the same. Silver, although, is trading under pressure, as I said, currently trading off about 12 cents on the day, $19.92, so it is under $20. And if you recall from yesterday's show, I truly believe that we were seeing the setup for a potential correction in silver. We will talk about that towards the end of the show. But traders, before we look at silver, I do want to take a look at gold. We are currently flat, awaiting technical confirmation that this most recent corrective wave has concluded, and we're moving back into the last part of this impulse wave, which would be wave 5 on a wave 3. And what I mean by that, and you can see that even on this Japanese average chart, we completed this wave 2 here. And so we're now in a wave 3. Of course, wave 2 was somewhat of an A, a B, and a C. So it was absolutely a 3 count to conclude our wave 2. Wave 3, which cannot be the shortest of any of the impulse waves, of course, began with a bang, starting at about 1200, moving to a top here at around 1320. We then had our wave 2. That was this correction here that took us down, to about 1250. We then had a nice spike up. This spike culminated at 1371. So we have 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3. I believe we're currently in 4 of 3. When that concludes, we'll go into a final 5th wave, and then into a corrective 4, a much larger 4 similar to this wave 2. Now, that being said, we're looking for technical confirmation that we've actually found some sort of a bottom. We talked about 2 key areas that we wanted to look at, one being 1330, and the other one, in essence, being 1200. You can't really see them as much on a Japanese average chart because the opens and closes that we're looking at are based upon midpoints of the candle prior to that. So based upon that, I do have one thing that I do want to look at, and that is the fact that it is ever so small, but you can see that for the first time in 3 days, and only the second occurrence as long as we've had these red candles, have we seen an upper wick. An upper wick is significant no matter what the size is. Of course, the larger the wick, more significant it is, but any size is significant because what it says is that at some point during the trading day, we actually traded below the midpoint of the prior candle. That's all that says, but that's important when looking at a Japanese average chart. And that, of course, brings us to our standard daily chart. Same Elliott wave count, but here's what I'm finding interesting. Take a look at this. I'm going to put up an actual drawing tool, and I use a mouse, so it's going to come in as a scribbled line. But look at the curve that you have in here, that sloping curve that you have. 1, 2, absolutely no doubt when we take a look at these series of lows, and this is that key area I have been trying to determine whether or not gold will have the ability to actually hold. We can say that for right now, there's absolutely no doubt because the series of lows that have come in, as I mentioned the other day, yes, we have had occasions where the low came in below 1330. However, On each occasion, it closed above this particular line. This line of 1330, of course, represents a 38% retracement of the beginning of wave 3 as it moves up the ladder, so to speak, here, and the subsequent retracement coming to this point. So we're not issuing a buy signal yet, but if we get that solid spike, that follow through tomorrow, that would give us a green candle with a higher high and a higher low, if we can maintain a base above this 1330, well, at that point, I think we've kind of washed out the short players in the market, and I think that we're probably going to see this market spike back up to higher ground. So traders, we are looking at a weekly chart of silver. As I said, silver's off about 13 cents, currently trading at 19.91. Weekly chart, take a look at these last series of 3 candles. Very much the beginnings. Because it's a weekly chart, this red candle could turn green, or if it continues lower, of course, it would actually could become a large red candle. And there's a couple of things that, to me, are really interesting. Now, the first thing that I find extremely interesting is the fact, let me draw this in to show you what it would kind of look like. The first thing that I find kind of interesting is we've had a decoupling between gold and silver pricing. Absolutely no doubt. We've got markets moving in opposite directions rather than looking at the ratio of how much one moved up compared to how much the other moved up and so forth. So that I find interesting. Secondly, we absolutely have, as I said, the beginnings of a 3-river evening star right here, especially if we have some lower market prices throughout the rest of the week. 1950, that's the point I'm actually going to look at. 1939, that's a 50% retracement of the large move from 25 down to 14. So I think that's a pretty important number. Also a very important number, you can see these tops right up here at about 2150. And that was where I was pegging our resistance. But the 68% at 2074 is really where we saw the market spike above, could not hold it. The next day it tried to actually take that high and reach that high, could not. Now we've got a down day. Let's see how this market kind of unfolds over the rest of the week. But as I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see silver lighten up in terms of pricing. This has been Gary Wagner, wishing you, as always, good trading. We'll talk to you tomorrow for another daily update and review. Bye-bye.